this. Oh, think we're in the game? We might be in the game. Looks like we're kind of there. Hold up. Maybe. We are on Mickey's Boxy's POV and Sania's POV. I am not 100% sure, but we at least have a game here to watch.
This is what it takes to be a pro, guys. Look at his camera movement, actually. This is actually really interesting. If you don't usually watch through like player cams perspective and everything. I guess we're watching Insania. Oh, yeah, his minimap's on the right side. This is Insania for sure. Fortunately, you guys, you haven't missed much. It's been very quiet lane so far. Maybe just everyone relying on the fundamentals. Like, they're very confused with the map. They're like, you know what? I'll just start by getting last hits and denies. So there hasn't been too much action yet. There was one close call with Tim's chasing Insania. Maybe Tim's now in a bit of trouble here. Hey, looking pretty slow there.
That's going to be the first blood. Really well done there from Mickey and Insania. They actually almost got a first blood on Insania earlier in this lane, but looks like it will finally go back the other way.
Yeah, the Jakiro looks very promising. I don't know if it'll actually be a position 4. Clearly, Tim's wanted to try it out there. But now getting Liquid Fire and Liquid Frost has been a huge buff, because there are times where you want one or the other, and everyone went Liquid Frost with the last one because it was better for the lanes, but having the choice is very useful now and buffs the hero a lot, especially because now you also get the new facets such as the Ice Path one or the Twin Terror, which he actually went for this game as position 4. Looking for another kill down here on FBZ. I think they've got this. This is perhaps the buff. We were just debating whether...
The barrier! That's the new Kraken shell active. That's super cool. And then now, wow, Tim's actually gets the return kill there with the Liquid Frost burn. Okay, so this Kraken shell change was actually pretty interesting. I wasn't sure how much it would actually affect the hero, but in a situation like that, he literally just blocked 100% of the damage the Drow was doing. And that is, what's the duration on that actually, on the active now? 4 seconds. So for 4 seconds, you take 0 right-click damage from your lane opponents. It does cost some mana, though, which Tide already struggles with. But, yeah, was able to survive, and it gets a turnaround kill. That's pretty sick.
Does this one have the stacking? Oh, he didn't get the kill with the effect, so he doesn't get the extra stack. It looks like Ember actually falls mid during this power rune fight. I was distracted looking at the new stuff. Sania chasing down Tim's barely surviving. The new mid layout should allow more pressure on the Radiant mids. Before, the high ground where Insania's walking through right now actually made it really hard to wrap on the Radiant mid, but it's kind of been equalized now with the map changes.
We are still working on trying to get the situation resolved, everyone. So just bear with us as try to figure out what happened. But for now, we will do our best here to kind of see what's going on. We're kind of just watching here from Insania's POV. If you're just tuning in and kind of wondering what's going on.
So far, Mickey's going to start exploring the camps behind his tower. I actually think, so this is something that is good for certain carries, the ancient camp being here by the safe lane. Because someone like Drow in the past actually wanted to have a good start and then potentially rotate over to the off lane where you could push in the lane and then just go farm 2 ancient camps and a hard camp. That was good when you wanted to do that, but there are times that your offlaner wants to stay over there and you still want to expedite your farm. So actually being able to use the ancient camp pretty early when it's this close. Insania looks pretty dead here. someone like Drow should be able to now stay in the safe lane and be happier about it. Push in the lane, go do an ancient camp, straight back to the lane, maybe go through like some of the polywog camps.
Well, mid lane Nisha's got an amplified damage. Should be able to finish off Mac here. Oh, what an arrow. Very nicely done. All right, they will grab it.
Sania trying to decide where to ward now on this new map.
I guess this is like a case study for how support addresses like the new map and everything like that. I mean, there's a lot less like high ground cliffs, right? So you're kind of having to use your your wards a little bit differently now, where it's like kind of just warding general areas as opposed to always a high ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, he found one this time. Some of the prep work going in. It's kind of easier to check some of these spots now. Like, we have these high grounds, but they're a little slimmer than they were before. So sentries now cover the whole area to an extent, but where along it you choose to check is maybe now going to be the choice. Mickey trapped here on the new terrain.
That's a very much a stuck hero. Drow's gonna go down, and Stania goes for the stomp here. Echo Slam actually to shut him down. Gets another kill. 2 dead on the side of Liquid. A big rotation from Boom though to get it.
Is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Space to, I guess, Saberlight putting in some pressure top, which is pretty important to match some of this pressure going on in the bottom lane right now.
All right, nice vacuum back. That borrow time's going to expire. Looking for map. Good stomp. The Ravage out from FBZ. We'll go ahead and put a stop to this for the moment, but the chase continues. The leap on forward. The Remnant in. Sleight of Fist connects. Here comes Jackie, boys. Gets silenced, though, right as he enters the fight. He will have the time lapse to escape, but goes right into the dust. I don't think they have a way of actually catching him, so they will just back away.
Should be able to get this tower off of that. They have the whole team here and the catapult. They're losing some mid pressure in the moment, but I think they'll be able to take this tower pretty quickly, just spread across the map again if they want. It's a little too early to go invading for Wisdom Runes holding this part of the map. And I also don't know how important it is to do anymore, because in the past, actually, if you put a lot of pressure on the enemies off lane, it made it easier to actually set up for Tormentor steals at 20 minutes. And that's no longer really that important anymore. Actually, just taking the tier 1 is pretty good to set up the Tormentor now, since it is in these corners. The enemies won't have a way to teleport in. Potentially, I guess. If you have the other safe lane, you know, maybe you can come through the Twin Gate, but there's always a risk of just walking into a huge vacuum wall or something, or from the Liquid side, going straight into an Echo Slam and Ravage. Ice Path, perhaps 6-second linger on the Twin Gate.
Oh my gosh, it looks like we're back. Are we back? All right. All right. It looks like we can see everything, so this is good. All right. Let's try to see what's been going on. It's been a little weird not being able to see like net worth, last hit, stuff like that, but looks like we do have observers back in, ready to go. So Drow is having an amazing start here for Mickey. A lot better of a start than I thought, even especially since we just saw the gank into the bottom side of the map. But yeah, as this laning stage ends, so I don't know if it's the buffs or they just played well, but Drow is certainly off to a strong start. And as a early momentum hero, should be able to contribute to the team as he, I don't know, looks like he wants the Yasha first. Manta, pretty common. I'm curious where he wants to go through there. If he wants to try any of the new items that came in. Neutrals. Ooh, I want to look at neutrals. We have a ton of shovels for Liquid. They have decided that shovels are the best item right now. Yeah, 2 on Boom already as well. I'm curious how they're going to like modify these with like the different enchantments, right? Is everyone just gonna pick Brawny, so it's just literally shovel, like, you know, nothing changed on the item? But we're gonna see a potential wrap around here into the mid lane. Searing Chains are out. A nice wall though from Saberlight's gonna lock down that Earthshaker, and now a very quick kill onto the Abaddon as well. So boom, really starting to struggle here in this like early mid game, as they're gonna take the tier 1 tower in mid as well.
Quick replay, Saberlight coming in. He's bringing in a halberd, early halberd. Doesn't actually matter here too much, to be honest, but that's a cool choice. Maybe take out all the damage from Weaver. Back into the real game, they found FBZ. He ravages to try to get away. Not nearly enough. That's actually going to lead to the Wisdom Rune steal.
Wisdom Shrine. Thank you. I'm kidding. Double wisdom Shrine there for Liquid. Very nice. Yeah, they're 3,000 ahead here, just 14 minutes into the game. It's not too rough, but at the same time, like, you've lost all 3 of your tier 1 towers. The Drow range is the one at the top of the net worth, and she has really good matchups this game, right? Like, she can deal with Tidehunter, she can deal with Earthshaker, Weaver. Like, none of these heroes are really good at getting on top of her. You definitely needed to shut her down a little bit more early on here.
All right, I'm just so absorbed with these neutrals. It seems like everyone likes Shovel, and then it's either Mystical or Brawny, which I gotta say makes a lot of sense, right? Either more health to take some of these early fights, or have the mana to take these early fights. I guess it depends on the exact hero, but maybe also a little bit of luck which one you get, because it's not guaranteed. I believe you have the choice.
Yeah, Mystical has been what we've seen a lot from heroes, just like that little bit of extra mana regen that helps out. And then Shovel is just so value at all stages of the game. And now that there's a ton more water, you can pretty much dig up water runes outside of the river, which is great. We're gonna see a fight break out here in the bottom side. Saberlight's looking for a good wall placement. Does manage to get 2 Jackie Boys. He's lost a lot of health already. Jakiro's gonna be the first one to go down, as Insania is gonna try and find his opening. Just beating down Janwell on this Abaddon. Forces the ult right away. The Fissure, though, is gonna connect, lock him down. He's dead. A buyback, though, from the Abaddon. Trying to get back into this fight. They still have not found the Weaver, but they did get his time lapse out of him. Chains out from Nisha. And the Echo Slam's gonna actually find Mickey, and now in comes the Weaver. Managed to get on top of this Drow. They will take him down first. Nisha has to start turning this fight around. He's low on mana. The Ion Shell still on top of him. I don't know if they can stick around. They're starting to run out of resources, and there's the Ravage from FBZ. He's been holding it for so dang long. Boxy now trying to TP out Saberlight with the Surge. Boxy's gonna make it. As now Saberlight salving up here on the backside. Insania coming in as well. And goes for the stomp, but just no chance. Interrupted by that Ice Path, as Jackie Boy's continuing to look for more, pushing forward onto Saberlight.
A huge fight for the new, air quotes, new Tormentor objective. A lot of this came down to be pretty close on the kill on Jackie Boys. That did not happen. It was really close. The silence ended. He time-lapsed back out. Because of that, they committed so hard, used up a ton of their resources, so the rest of the fight slowly goes the way of Boom, although they did have to commit some buybacks for it. I will say I think it paid off. It's actually, the Tormentor, I think it's worth it to do all this for.
So worth it. So worth it.
Yeah, it's got the shard and everything, but I guess because they used so much, they didn't actually feel comfortable finishing the Tormentor. So Liquid's actually just back at it. Despite losing that fight, Liquid still ends up with the Tormentor. Boom was just kind of low, and I guess a little slow about doing it, and they got pushed off of it.
Okay, well now it's definitely not worth it. Dude, Tormentor is way too valuable now. You get
because
one
it still gives
at 15 instead of the 2 at 20. It still gets the shard.
It still gives the shard, and now more money as well.
Yeah.
to everyone who does. I think 240 gold. So pretty good early objective. And I think the idea is that it's a trade-off of, like, if you skip Tormentor and you go for an early Roche, the other team could do Tormentor. But now it just encourages you to do Tormentor first to then set up for the Roshan afterwards. Which,
is that not almost a 3,000 gold swing at 15 minutes if you get Tormentor?
I think the math works out, yeah.
It's like almost 3k gold. Like, it's pretty nuts how big that is. Like, that is a full team wipe in essence, right? In just taking Tormentor.
Oh, watch out, there's a Prowler camp here. I don't know if you guys can do this.
Well, okay, so I'm glad the Prowlers are back. You and I joked about it earlier.
I know, yeah.
About, like, Prowlers coming back, but instead of being in the camps, they just roam around the map trying to kill people, and we thought it would be really funny. But they did just bring them back. Less dangerous, though. Yeah, nerfed, less dangerous, because now a lot of the spell activations do require there to be multiple heroes nearby instead of it just randomly rooting you, like taking all your armor and killing you. So some overall kind of changes to how jungle creeps work, right? And how they activate and use spells to make it more consistent across the board, which is a nice quality of life change for sure. Smoke up, though, from Liquid. Onto the high ground, they see the Abaddon, but they have the bigger target to the vacuum. Actually makes him whiff with the arrow, but it doesn't matter. So much damage coming in from the multi-shot from Mickey as now the Ravage, yeah, connects onto everyone, but there's no follow-up. They were not close enough. They had already lost the Shaker. Januel here on the Abaddon cannot stand his ground. 3 dead on Boom, potentially more as Nisha continues the chase, but they will be able to back away and now turning their attention to the mid tier 2 tower.
The fact that they find the vacuum wall onto Earthshaker and Jakiro. Earthshaker does manage to get the echo off, but nothing from Jakiro. And he actually does contribute a lot of this early damage in these team fights. So we see like the big Ravage come out afterwards, but just not very much damage. But if you imagine the Macropyre Ice Path Dual Breath lined up with that Ravage, then suddenly we can see Boom taking that fight.
Absolutely.
So an advantage to the Moonlight Shadow coming back in from the support Mirana, who manages to TP out again with like 50 health left. It's unfair if that keeps happening. Boxy, the third one you gotta give back over to Boom.
So we have this Blink Dagger on Mac, but we haven't really seen it get put to a lot of use. They are apparently taking Roshan. It is dead. Aegis will go into the hands of the Drow Ranger. Here's a couple things that I really like. I think the rework to Halberd is incredible. We're actually gonna see it back into the meta. It's, you know, dispellable now, but I still think that makes it a very good item. We're going to see both Darkseer and I think I saw someone on Boom picking one up as well. But for now, a pipe being completed here from the Tidehunter to try and reduce some of the damage that's coming through. He's actually picked up the Searing Signet. Interesting. One of the new items.
Yeah.
Brigand's Blade is back, though. This is one of the big ones I want to talk about. This item was one of the most busted jungle items for a long time, and it is back. How do you feel about this? Because I think every carry is basically going Brigand's Blade right now.
It seems like it. Actually, Nisha's got one too. Everyone who wants to do right-click damage.
They're going to try and get Mac out of here. He's getting a lot of healing, but Januel, his ult's going to expire, and with that, Abaddon, yeah, he manages to bail out the Earthshaker. That might be good enough. FBZ is going to pop that Blade Mail, try and buy himself a little bit of time. The Searing Chains are out. The arrow just to block off any chance of escape, and dead on his own high ground. Liquid are just steamrolling over Boom right now.
Boom didn't want to fight there. Understandable. 9k down, no Aegis. But I don't think you want heroes there then, because Jackie Boy's clearly no interest in showing up. She's just pushing the other parts of the map. I feel like you actually just give up that tower and go farm the rest of the map. So maybe being on a little bit of a different page there on whether they're going to fight or not. That actually now costs you this tier 3 tower. You're at least going to lose a lot of the health, and yeah, it seems like there's no interest in fighting without the Tidehunter, so It just falls. Now another barracks. And this is actually where you would have wanted to fight. You threaten the Ravage, Echo, Macro Pyre on the high ground. But by losing the fight outside at the tier 2, a much easier fight for Liquid to take, now they pretty much break the high ground for free. They don't actually get the melee barracks, but this will always push in their favor now. And that sets up, you know, all the other plays you want to make.
Yeah, we're going to see Saberlight finishing up an Aghanim Scepter on the Darkseer, which is a little bit interesting. Not something we see all that often, but does give you a little bit more crowd control. Normal punch is always quite funny. It's really good against Abaddon, right? Because he just curses himself. For Weaver, he's like kind of a glass cannon hero. So he has to be very careful to not get caught by the normal punch into like vacuum because he could potentially burst himself.
Don't you hate when you burst yourself?
Yeah, I've played Muerta into a Darkseer normal punch. I don't like it. 11,000 gold here.
Boys, Saberlight's pinging him. He's running in. Vacuum punch.
I mean, it's a decent amount of damage. Ooh, gets the time lapse off just barely to avoid that gust, but that means no time lapse for 50.
Yeah, that was just the vacuum and the punch, and he did about half of the health. So you can imagine with Wall of Replica and maybe one stun, which I guess is him. I guess he is the one stun. So I guess you just need someone else there also doing damage in that one stun to finish off the kill. Everything else can be dispelled by Manta. Well, I guess the sleep, but you wake him up and then he Mantas and time lapses.
Yeah, you have like sleep, you have like chains into arrow, but that's not something that's easy to hit on a Manta target, let alone the Weaver. So we'll see what they do. Bottom lane of barracks finished off. Now looking for the mid. You have one fortification remaining for Boom here. As the blink, the Echo Slam comes out from Mac. The chain stun is there. No, he gets the remnant off. Nisha's safe. Mickey bailed out by Saberlight as well. A huge vacuum wall on the backside to create so much distance. Tim's trying to run. Chains on the front side finds Jackie Boys. He's playing 1v5. Needs to be careful. Somehow Liquid lose absolutely nothing in this. And they can just remnants home and come back and be ready to fight on this high ground once again for this Ember Spirit.
Comes down to the Sanj and Yasha that Nisha decided to still buy. The chain stuns and just enough, soon enough for him to remnant out of there, heal up. Goes back home, straight back into the fight. And now you know there's no big team fight ults. Like, you might do this slowly, but I think Liquid can just finish this off. Well, actually, Roshan, or Aegis, is expiring now.
Okay. I was just about to ask when that was going to happen because that's like the big thing, right? Is waiting on that Aegis.
Yeah, I thought they had a little longer on it and they would just push without the team fight ults. I actually still think they could if they wanted to, but maybe they're just going to play it safe. You really need the 2-0 here. You don't want to risk throwing on the high ground, get yourself into a sticky situation. So at this point, we don't usually think about Tormentor possibly respawning soon, but because it got moved 5 minutes sooner, there is this cycle that I think will come up in a lot of pro games where if you're winning, you do Tormentor, you do Roche, you push with the Aegis, get a bigger lead, Tormentor's back up. You go do the next Tormentor. With that bigger lead, you do the next Roshan. And that could maybe be what they're waiting for. Like, if we get a kill, great. If not, we'll just do the Tormentor for now. It looks like they're gonna force the ult from Abaddon. Okay, 4-step back in the base. Yeah, so you poke and prod, keep them in their base. If you find the kills, great. If not, Tormentor should be up in the next minute or two, I think.
Are you surprised they brought Essence Ring back? Because I felt like this item was removed specifically because it was overpowered. Same with Brigand's Blade, but now they're just both back in the game. I am glad, though, that there's certain ones were removed.
Then it's balanced.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe they thought it was the combination of like the I mean, now that you have to like get the artifact plus the essence for it to technically be the same. But it was kind of like the active on Essence Ring that was really strong. Just that quick burst of health.
Dire are scanning.
We'll see those smoke up from Boom. I mean, this is a really good angle to approach from. Drow's not here. Maybe you find an opening, kill one of these supports, but no, they actually scout this out completely. And Insania Well, he's the one that's in trouble. The jump in here from Mac, just 2-tapped by the Earthshaker.
Big T movement just for the position 5. If everyone else gets out, especially because Saberlight even steals the Wisdom Shrine, not too bad. There's not even a key objective to lose, really. Well, actually, maybe they could have forced the Tormentor with that ET kill. Something that perhaps they're not used to. The idea of, you know, killing ET, 28 minutes, go get the Tormentor. But that, like you said, I think it's like 3,000 gold all said and done. A little less than that. But
wait. So how often does Tormentor spawn? Yeah, right. First one's at 15. Is it every 10 minutes after that? So is it still 10 minutes?
So yeah, I don't
see
remember there being a change to it.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I didn't see anything about the change to the respawn timer, so I assumed it would be 10 minutes, and it looks like they're going to go for it here as they swing through the Twin Gate and head back bottom for the second. So let's just keep an eye here. 12K gold lead at the moment. Yeah, okay, it's actually just a 3,000 gold swing. Like, I cannot understand how teams are going to deal with this. If you are snowballing and you are ahead and you get Tormentor at 15 minutes, this is going to be an absolute ridiculous objective. Potentially more important than Roshan right now at 15 minutes. Like, I don't know.
I think it'll come down to the lineup, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're like Huskar, Meepo, they always want the early Aegis. But some teams, some shards are really good for certain supports and just flat out money.
I do like money. You can, well, we're going to see the fight break out. They do get a nice ice path here on Mickey. Makes a decent chunk of damage, but unable to finish the job. He's able to get away for now. Meanwhile, Boxy's got to get the leap up. Huge vacuum from Saberlight. The halberd on the Jackie Boys will get dispelled. Nisha on the front line trying to stay with them. The illusion just running down this Abaddon, and now FBZ in trouble. Body block, pops the blade mail. Big Ravage to turn it around. The buybacks from both of these heroes on Boom. It's gonna be enough. He whiffs the Echo. He gets hit on the blink in. Oh no, Mac. That's the worst possible scenario here as he is dead. A dieback on your Abaddon as well as your Jakiro. The GGs come out and Liquid will take game number 1. All right. Number 2 of Boom Esports versus Liquid. As we jump into this one, we'll take a look at some of the facets. He is still going Devil's Bargain on the Doom, which bothers me. Crash landing still for the Tiny, and then the Secret Sauce for that Techies. So that extra blast off damage.
I had a
nothing
crazy
else
idea.
really different. Oh, hit me. What's the idea?
Crazy idea for Devil's Bargain. So they introduced a thing where when an item first is delivered to you, you can instantly swap it in from your backpack. But it's only the very first time you buy an item. I was wondering if you get to the ultra late game, I didn't get to test this, if Doom can buy like a Hex and an Abyssal, and then you blink initiate and then just swap them in from your backpack. So you can truly use multiple items, even swap in like a refresher, whatever. And then you just sell them and then buy them again and then do it again.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Is there not? I couldn't remember if there was like a window in which you have to swap them in though, instead of it just keeping in your backpack.
Oh, I don't know if it's a window. I can't remember. But maybe it's just like more courier management.
I think it was like a 3-second window or something on delivery, but we'll have to see. I can't remember. There's so many patch notes, so many extra lines, right, and stuff like that they've added. We're gonna see no real fight over the runes here.
What did Marcy end up going for? Buddy system. So while Barty guarded, Marcy and her partner share a portion of health healed by this ability with each other.
Boxy's going to take a lot of damage here and forced to go leap level 1. Not really what you want out of the Marana. Do they move the location of the bounty runes?
Not really.
Are they like further back?
Yeah, they're really deep now.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks really far in the jungle. I didn't even realize that. Okay, wow. That was way more difficult to grab.
Yeah, more dangerous to go for, but a lot more wraparound paths potentially as well. So that'll be something that develops over time, I'm sure, and will lead to some cool level 1 fights. But it's going to take some time to, you know, theory craft the best paths and like which heroes do what, all that stuff.
So I was looking at Underlord yesterday at the patch notes, he's somewhat fresh in my mind since he's towards the end. They nerfed this hero pretty heavily on his talents. So he's not going to have like these big power spikes off of his talents like he used to, but I do think he did get buffed based on the items, and we're going to see him try and get away here. But Jackie Boys, as well as the Techies, will just beat down the Underlord, get themselves first blood into the hand of Genwell.
Underlord gets very tanky, but at the start, he just has high health. He doesn't have his items, his atrophy aura, all of that. So Marcy and Techies, a lot of early game damage. You're not going to be careful. That level 2 power spike is still quite strong. Maybe special delivery gets you. It's on Marcy. I thought it was like on her courier. She just has
I was curious where it was
now.
going to be the hotkey.
Okay, well now he can't forget about it, right? Like it's got to be right in his face. I have to see this used. Oh, he got Orb of Frost on the Marcy. So they do want to try to play really aggressive around it. Oh, yeah. Show me the new creep drag path, Saberlight.
That's a
Where
cool
do we
one.
go?
Jackie Boy's like disposing his own creep to deny it, like the range creep at least.
The old off-lane rotation and grab a water rune. It's actually a bigger deal now. You can't, we no longer have the bottle refill, so even if, you know, Techies or Lion dies, they can't help the Tiny in terms of regen.
I'm just have one word to say to that. Good.
Agreed.
Screw you, mid laners. It's not all about you, you know. Oh, what's
when
that?
Tangos
You're
got
telling
an
my support to
expiration
die?
timer, I was so happy.
Yep. It's been years of these types of balance changes to make mid laners stop being these like welfare babies. You know, they're like, oh, I need more help in the mid lane. Can someone give me a bottle and some tangos and like someone TP refill? Can someone just be my courier? Like, come on, do it yourself. You know.
They want the
I love
they want
these
the
changes.
honor of the 1v1 without the actual 1v1.
Yeah, it's not without the honor is what you're saying.
No, they pretend that. Yeah, they pretend
There's
the
no
honor's
honor.
still there. The easiest, guys, support player tip right here. Easiest way to win a game is to show up mid once, and you'll tilt the enemy mid out of control.
That's true. No, I'm actually really glad. I think these types of changes have been generally good for the mid lane, the health of mid lane and Dota for the last several years. This one, I think, is a very big one that might actually change the mid lane pool of heroes. Not because like, oh, like this hero can go back to base and refill bottle while these ones can't, as much as like some heroes just may not want to build bottle anymore. You know, like, all right, it's too difficult. Insania taking a lot of damage here, but it's bait. Well, the glaives look crazy. Were they always on an axis like that? I don't think they were.
I don't remember it either.
All right, Insania just as stunned as I am. Come on, bro. Please tell me he's gonna be like this for the rest of the game. No!
No.
Come on, Tims, why do you have to do damage? All right, well, that being said, that Astral Spirit, I think, expiring should be good. Ooh, not enough damage to finish it. If the Spirit came out first, he dies there. He would have lost the magic resistance for the beam. So, a little thing there that makes a difference. Saberlight goes down in the bottom lane. They do take down the Techies first.
Foxy, second Star Storm, 100 damage.
That's so
Not
much
quite enough.
damage. He's dead.
Oh, actually, he leaps in.
Hey, it's another leap. All
This is
right.
level 2
2 points
Star Storm, so it's 300 damage in total on whoever gets hit, and they're blinded for 4 seconds. So very strong in these kind of cases where you can guarantee who the second strike is on. You see an observer in the
pretty
lane.
sick.
I think we're
That's
going to
so
see this
much
type of
damage.
observer a lot more. If you haven't looked at like the sentry placement in the new camps by the safe lane, it's really hard to get anything to survive there.
Oh my god. That deconstruction into the loosened beam just took... He's stunned again! Oh my god, how many times are we going to see this? All right, well, he's dead. So, you know, we don't get to see that animation anymore. FBZ just runs him down with the tornado as well as the 2 points in that Scorched Earth. But seems Luna Elder Titan's still just as strong as ever.
Yeah, haste rune secured by Boxy for Nisha. And Nisha's already got level 6, so if he sees an opportunity to go somewhere, could be there very quickly. Do you get haste and then the water speed bonus, you think? Ooh, nice deny on the observer.
Because it doesn't unlock movement speed, right? There's no form of unlocking movement speed in the game anymore outside of Bloodseeker. I think it's really just like Spearbreaker can slightly go above it. Same with like Lycan and stuff. I think Lycan's Wolf, does it go above it still? I don't remember. I think it's
I
like
can't remember the 2,000 lines of Dota changes, so
but there's no
Not
more like
sure.
unlocked movement speed like we've seen in the past. Saberlight taking a little bit of damage here in the bottom lane. That Starstorm doing quite a bit. Nisha coming in with his haste rune, looking to just chase down Jackie Boys. The Rolling Thunder not going to connect yet, but just quickly bouncing off the new terrain, and that should be a nice pickup. Goes the way of Boxy. Killing spree now for him. Having a great game.
what do you think the odds are? Surely with a map change, Nisha gets stuck somewhere in a role. They just like can't move out of a spot.
Pretty likely. Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's going to happen
We'll
at
see it
some
at least
point.
once somewhere.
They're going to back up for their Wisdom Shrines, which this was something that I think you and I had talked about quite a bit, and how we wanted a new implementation of both Lotuses and Shrines, because it wasn't super interactive or like honestly a good mechanic. Now you do have to kind of fight for it in a way. It's like a King of the Hill type of situation, and I think that's good for the game. Top lane, dive, Insania not making out of this one. 4 heroes showing up to put a stop to that, but Luna's deep in the jungle, just farming it up.
Getting them polywogs. Yeah, I like the shrine change. I think it rewards winning your lane, because before you could be down 6 levels, but if you just happen to click first, you get the wisdom rune. Now, obviously, I mean, that's an extreme example. You probably die in that case. But now you actually have to fight it out if it's, say, a one-on-one with support. So if you've been winning the laning stage and you go contest the wisdom rune, you're rewarded for that. And I like that idea. Same with the Lotuses. You can't just happen to click first and then you get the Lotus.
Really nice fine bottom here from these two. Our observer pointing out the Polywog charm on Nikkei, by the way, combined with the movement speed enchantment. This hero is giga fast. This is like in the water. That is wild. Top lane, though, we're going to see potential dive here. FBZ going to grab Insania. Nice Earth Spike there from Tims. They don't get the Luna, but they will get the Courier. Well, bottom lane, it will cost them their tier 1 tower. Maybe they can trade, though. Saberlight not yet level 6. Yeah, they'll get the
I like
trade.
this idea from Liquid, though. Like, they go for the Luna, another carry who's pretty strong, and then can farm Ancient really early, which is what he was doing before that gank came in. Insania had to tank it for him. So he is now kicked out of that area. But I think that's the logic they're going for. Have a strong showing with the carry, and then be able to jungle and make use of this Ancient camp really early.
Bottom lane, Saberlight's in really deep. Does have the portal, but at this point, there's definitely no making it out. Seeing that amplified damage of the Tiny, the toss will come in, finish the job. So, top lane. They will find Insania. Maybe Mickey gonna try and help him out here. He gets away.
Water
Really nice
speed
little
bonus,
stun
man.
there. Yeah, it actually is the Polywog Amulet speed bonus. The Doom comes out though. Nisha needs to be careful. A lot of damage. The arrow's going to connect there onto the Doom, but Nisha's going to live here. Tim's trying to hobble away, get away from Mickey, trying to TP out into the trees.
No,
he can't. The auto pathing. Oh my goodness. Great TP
That's so
out.
funny.
FBZ survives.
He's blocked by multiple like lions blocking some of the choke points and the centaurs, and then because the centaurs are moving, it's like, oh, it's available, it's not available, it's available, it's not available. Very convenient for the lion to get out there.
There is like a command in Dota where you can like force move in a certain direction, but very few people have ever enabled it because it's only useful on heroes like Shadow Fiend, right? Where you can raise up and down cliffs without having to like deal with auto pathing. So it's a little bit weird.
I think the pros most would use it. I would say the issue there is like sometimes the pathing on trees is not clear. And so you like try to go in one way and you honestly don't expect it to happen. Like if you have it ahead of time, like I need to use forced directions, then you can do it. But if you're like, oh, Lion walked through here, right? You're not really expecting it until it's too late.
By the time you realize what's going on, you've already missed the chance. Bottom lane, nice grab there onto Saberlight. Jackie Boys now has that Unleash online, going for the Battle Fury. An item that I feel like got a pretty heavy nerf. Despite it being a little bit less expensive, I still feel like maybe I'm not reading it right, but I do feel like it's just generally worse in most scenarios.
I'm not a carry player, so can't say for sure. I think the fact that it's cheaper is good. Just because like you don't, when you buy Battle Fury, it's not because you want damage. It's because you want the farm speed from the cleave. And so you're getting the cleave like 30 seconds sooner, let's say, because it's 200 gold cheaper. And that could lead you to, you know, clear a stack sooner because you finished the Battle Fury. So I'm open to it as a guy who probably will not build Battle Fury in the next 500 games I play. I'll wait for a carry player to tell me what they think about it.
I really like what Genwell is doing here. He's knowing Liquid's going to want to try and play for that Tormentor at 15 minutes. So he has mined up the Twin Gate here in case they decide to come through there. And unlike the previous Twin Gate, which was on that like high ground choke point, there's only so many areas you could actually place the mines. Now that it's just a big open area, you have a lot more potential for some hazards, I guess you could say.
He needs to plant the sign, though. Well,
yeah, he does.
It only lasts 60 seconds now, so I guess he'll have to choose when he thinks they're very likely to come through, maybe as it gets closer to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but
just plants around 14 and a half, maybe. Ooh.
Yeah, it's just the 15% damage amp on these mines. And, you know, he's right. Liquid's coming down here with the smoke play.
This is... All right.
I need them to Fiends Gate in. You know, like, oh, we're going to surprise you, Fiends Gate in. That would be so funny. Bypass every mine by Fiends Gating into the bottom right corner.
And just missing it. Nisha in some trouble. Avalanche toss. Finger of Death somehow still alive. But in comes the Marcy with the Unleash. They'll finish the job. Almost gets out. But now a blink forward here from Mac. Looking for the toss back. Will get him the blast off as well. So much damage. Yeah, great timing. And with this, I mean, that's 2 heroes dead. Right around 14 minutes, they should get their wisdom unless Mac can close the gap, and he will. So he will take them out, tries to toss them away. Boxy trying to brawl it out here, not lose their wisdom shrine, but boom, bring the numbers. They got it. Huge plays, actually.
Yeah, that's the fighting right there that we were just talking about, right? Because Boom comes in to fight, they're rewarded for it. Whereas before, surely the Tiny should beat the ET, but ET might just happen to click it first.
They're looking for the Doom here. He's pretty isolated, so this should be a kill going the way of Liquid, but the bait, baby, the bait, it's coming. Genwell knows. He says, get in here, Nisha. What do you want? I got all the mines.
Surely those are all the mines,
the rest of them, they're like, there can't be any more. The toss on in. The avalanche from Mac. They find themselves another. Mac just sets up a kill onto this Luna. Mickey's gonna join him in the grave. 3 more dead on Liquid. The long con. You thought this high ground was yours, but no. Techies, he claimed it long ago.
All right, now Boom has to do this Tormentor. They have to, from the last game, they had that window to do it. We missed exactly why they stopped, but seemed like a big mistake. I would actually love to see them just turn around right now away from this tier 1 and go do that Tormentor. Yeah, so Liquid, they wanted to punish the Wisdom Rune aggression, right? They're like, oh, we'll get kills, we'll go for the Tormentor. So they end up grabbing FBZ. He doesn't get that much help. Like, oh yeah, Boom's totally left the area. Let's pursue for more, guys. Look, there's weak support. Let's go get him. Bully him. You jump straight in, all your mobility. No way to get out.
Like come up on this
Places
side
more.
too, and they're like, yeah, okay, that's gotta be all of them, right? And then Mac just gets a free Avatos on the backside. Saberlight still popping mines on his way out of here. I will say, you know, the Luna lived longer than I expected, but yeah, I mean, just so much damage. They do end up getting the Tormentor and suddenly a 7,000 gold advantage at 15 minutes for the side of Boom. And this is exactly what we saw last game from Liquid, right? The same type of idea. Slight lead into the Tormentor. And who got the shard? Based on the net worths, I'm guessing it went to Lion.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it goes to Tim's.
Pretty good this game. There's actually a good amount of magic damage that if you can become magic resistance and debuff immune, it's pretty useful.
All right, going straight
I will
deep,
say,
you know.
I feel like, oh, hold that thought. Nisha.
Okay,
looks
force
like
rolling
they don't
thunder
wanna go.
and the shield rune.
Yeah. I feel like there have been a couple instances where I've seen Tiny not kill a target that he would have in the past, where Avalanche Toss would have done enough combo damage to finish the kill. It hasn't mattered quite yet because he's had teammates to help him finish the job. And in that sense, that's where Tiny's still good, right? Avalanche Toss, utility-wise, does the same thing. Damage, much lower, I think. I got to do the math on it, but I think it is losing damage, and I can see it come into play in a couple situations.
Seeing the crafted items coming out here from some of these heroes. I like the decision for Underlord getting the Essence Ring with Mystical, I think is what it was. And then for Pango, so many Essence Rings, dude. What is this? Essence Ring on Pango, going quickened, movement speed and mana. I like this little overlay here that you know they've added, so you can kind of see what people are doing. Movement speed and mana for Luna. We saw her go the movement speed off the tier 1 as well, right? So just upgrading using that same essence or enchantment.
Interesting. FBZ got Searing Signet last game as well, and now he's doing it on Doom. It helps a lot with farm if you have AoE spells. I guess it's not bad damage either. Doesn't it? Is it wrong?
It does proc. Okay, I was curious if Scorched Earth would proc it. That's what I was gonna say. Is if whether or not Scorched Earth procs, because I don't know the damage tick rate on it. So it looks like the tick rate's not too fast. Because like certain heroes are incapable of proccing it. Like Darkseer cannot proc Searing Signet in any capacity, even with things like full Kaya upgrades. I mean, sure, yeah, vacuum, but like, yeah, it's like the tick rate on Ion Shell's too fast to proc it. So certain heroes, it's not great on. So that's kind of cool. I like it on Doom then, if that's the case. Searing Signet does seem kind of nice. Basically just buffs, it makes your Scorched Earth even stronger, right? Which is great. Tumbler Toy with Greedy, the old GPM that we used to see.
Fantastic for Lion. You don't care about the damage reduction. The second Greedy upgrade is minus 60 attack. That is so much.
It's a lot. It's a lot more.
I feel like that'll be a
though.
grief. I think there are certain supports who are going to explore that, and they're going to find out it's a bit of a grief to yourself. A little team play. Save my boy. Don't let the Liquid give him.
Oh,
so far, the big winners for really neutrals. Yeah. The neutrals, Shovel seems to be the big winner for tier 1. And then Essence Ring, tier 2. Though if you're core, Iron Talon and Brigand's Blade, still really good. Searing Signet, apparently for some spellcasters. Oh, Mac's not even done. Finds ET in the back.
Okay. I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I was waiting until we got to the Dire tier 2 top or Radiant tier 2 bottom. The siege rotate angle for these lanes now is definitely through the jungle side, right? Like you have the Watcher, you can see TP locations in, and you're not like threatening yourself on the low ground in the river. I feel like, so it's actually kind of cool. Unleash bottom. You're just gonna pop the BKB. Doesn't want to risk Nisha coming in with that Rolling Thunder to save him. Does pull him back. Jackie Boy is just gonna TP onto the end of his BKB timer, but it's not gonna look so good for this Lion. Overall, really good trade, I think. If you're Boom, you force 4 heroes bottom, you take down the Underlord, only costs you the Lion.
It was the first BKB charge, but I don't think you mind too much. keep the pressure on. I really want to see them go for the Roche soonish. You have to be careful. ET, Underlord, Pango, Luna, these are all excellent heroes in terms of fighting around the Roche pit. But the next time they're able to find some kind of pickoff like this, I hope they do make their way over, follow that same formula that we saw Liquid do. You get the Tormentor, you get the Roche. Get the Tormentor, get the Roche. And even outside the changes, I mean, it's around the time you do Roche anyways to start cleaning up the map, take on these tier 2s, look to poke the tier 3s.
I feel like they did update the visual on these glaives, and it just looks so much cooler on the lunar orbit or whatever. Yeah, it looks way better. Because it used to just be flat, and you could kind of not really tell the difference between the lunar orbit versus the auto attack glaives, because they are also flat. So it's a nice little like visual distinction between the two. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Looks great.
That damage reduction is actually going to be very important versus Marcy and Tiny.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of these fights are going to come down to. The burst potential from Boom is immense. But if you can survive that initial burst, especially if you can wombo combo them with ET or Splitter, the Firestorm, all of that, like a more drawn out AoE fight, that's where Liquid can try to get back into this. Because right now, 10k down at 22 minutes is pretty tough.
What a blink out from Tim's. That was sick. Those have Tumbler's Toy too. Great mobility item for the Lion, right? You can maybe Tumbler's Toy to get like a Hex and still have your blink Mac. Invis here on the backside with a shield rune. We'll find Boxy, but deciding there's might be a better target somewhere else, but unfortunately for him, there is not any other heroes from Liquid nearby. I was going to say, how long do you think until Techie starts setting up for the next Tormentor? And he is already hard at work.
Gotta protect the Tormentor.
Oh my goodness. Doom out FBZ. We'll finish off the Mirana here fairly easily, but it's going to be Liquid responding with the numbers. Trying to grab Mac here. Stuck in place. Rolling Thunders through, and now Tiny very easily killed off. Tims will make it up to the high ground. Do you go Roche with this is the question. I feel like you've got to get an objective here.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm up for that.
Maybe not with the flips now. Oh, Mickey getting caught from Tims. The blink, the stun. There's going to be Finger at dead. They don't chase. Actually, they have numbers coming. Oh, blast off. He's thinking.
Yeah, I thought the Techies was a little closer. I thought he was about to finish the job, but gets a bit farther than I realized. But you don't get the kill, but now you definitely can't go do Roche with Liquid falling or Mickey falling that low.
Jackie says, "I'll do it. I'll force their hand." I actually don't think they had vision of this going right around the corner there. They see the front entrance to Roshan, but not the bottom. And as a result, well, it's falling low. Scan does connect. They get an arrow here onto Doom. They're going to respect, potentially, Liquid as they slow this up a little bit. Unleash has expired. Here comes Mac on the Tiny. Going to start trying to beat down this Roshan. Boxy, another arrow coming through. Will connect onto the Tiny. Another stomp potentially. He's trying really hard. Nisha gonna go with the Rolling Thunder, jump on in. The BKB's out here from Jackie Boy, but who's gonna get the Aegis? It will be the Marcy. Mac, though, falling very low on the backside. As now Tims gets a nice Earth Spike there onto the Pango, gets out just in time. An arrow actually connecting onto this Techie's a 1-for-1, but you get the Aegis for the Marcy. Man, it's so good to see Roche fights in the rivers like this again. It makes it way more interesting in terms of how teams can fight around Roche.
Yeah, which angles you try to cover. Because even though they were in control, right, Boxy came from the right side, which you can't cover the entire pit. It's just going to spread you out too much. So, well, I'm sure we'll have more exciting steals in the future. In this case, Jack Boys, thanks to the BKB immunity, was able to secure it for himself. Not the worst, though, for Liquid, considering they're down 10k, managing to pick up the Tiny in that fight. You know, not too bad. The BKB is getting low on the Marcy. She's got one more charge of 7 seconds, and then she's down to the lowest timing. And they've already got the Halberd on Saberlight. So anytime she doesn't have BKB, she does not have another Dispel.
Well, Tormentor number 2. And another 3,000 gold going into the hands of Boom. Not opting to stick around to heal up. You know, who needs it? They took Virtuous Gale out of the game, but they had to put it back somehow, you know?
He turned around a little bit. He's like, oh, wait, I don't need to go home. I could have been healed. Oh, it's gone. Oh, too bad.
Lucky. Luna's going to take the serrated Shiv, I believe. You see all the Deadlock references in this update? It's kind of wild. There's a lot of them.
No, I don't play Deadlock, so I don't know the references.
Unlucky. There's a lot of them.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
What's the next? Sanj and Yasha finished for Marcy. They have to clear up some towers. They've had a very good sequence of events in terms of getting kills and these Tormentor and Roche objectives. They haven't actually done too much building pressure as of yet. So this first Aegis, I imagine, not expecting to get high ground unless you happen to win a big fight. Just looking to clear out these tier 2s. I think high ground is really scary against Liquid. Even though you know you have the gold lead, they have such good high ground defense on Liquid. You don't want to throw.
Marcy going for the Nemesis here. What's the upgrade enchantment on the Nemesis? Did you happen to see? Okay, it goes alert. The bonus night vision and attack speed. Okay, interesting. Mid lane, Rolling Thunder out from Nisha is going to reveal. Okay, Techie's health bar vanished. Did he have... Okay, that's serrated. Okay. I was curious what did all the damage, because Brigand's Blade used to just be OP on this hero, but it really seemed like serrated Shiv just deleted Techie's health bar there.
That, and they moved his talents around. So at 15, he now has the attack damage as swashbuckle damage. And that's what Nisha's gone for, the right talent so far. So he's got Lucky Shot, armor reduction, and more damage.
Jagger tried so hard. Well, that's his last extended BKB duration, right?
Ooh, I want... Do the orbital glaives apply on hit effects? No, right?
No. Just damage.
Because that would have been really cool with the serrated Shiv.
Ooh, all right. Tim's just gets deleted, but the Doom does come out from FBZ, and he's got himself an amplify damage, trying to run down this Pango. Some barriers keep him alive. He's got that BKB running, but he cannot stay on top of him. The jukes through the trees. He will survive on Nisha. The Atos into Arrow. The Horde comes in from Saberlight to try and finish the job. Nisha, again, Swashbuckle Shield Crash doing so much work. The disarm on the Jackie Boys doesn't have that BKB to dispel it, and well, a lot of that unleash is wasted, if almost the whole thing at this point. Avalanche from Mac, toss, but guess what? Another Rolling Thunder's up from Nisha, now chasing for the big kill in the Marcy. She's gonna lose that Aegis. And Mac on the backside just getting kited around despite the gold advantage. It's gonna be Liquid with almost a full team wipe here.
There is no mana left on Mickey.
He's actually out. That's wild.
Amazing. Still, even though you don't get the second kill, that is a massive fight for Liquid. And I kind of feel like this is where a team's read on the patch is pretty good. Nisha is doing so much damage with these swashbuckles. It is actually so much. This Shiv from him and the Luna.
It actually looks bugged to me. I feel like I like maybe the serrated Shiv's internal cooldown is not proccing off of like swashbuckle and shield crash, because it seems like it's applying way too much damage, but maybe it is actually just the 15 talent like you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at the math. I feel like it could just be lucky procs. Isn't that also his thing? Oh no, his is negative ones are less likely to happen.
Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be the arrow. Tanky boy here though does have BKB. Chain stuns potentially out. No. It's the BKB off in time, and now Mickey coming through that twin gate very quick. They actually managed to find Jackie Boys. There's gonna be the avalanche, the toss, the rebound on to do the BKB's route. Mickey's gonna try and stand his ground, but does he get out? He does. What a force staff up to the high ground. You lost the Underlord though.
That's okay. Underlord for Luna is absolutely worth it.
Dire's top tower.
That was very close because Boom, they've been winning all the fights because as long as you commit and take out some key targets with your ultimate, you're good to go. You can clean up the rest of the fight after that. But if you don't get the big kills with Unleash, Marcy as a hero just falls off a cliff in your actual damage output.
Middle tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
It's really, you press Unleash, you have to delete hero.
Yeah, as soon as it's down, especially without longer BKB charges, you just have to back off and play it safe. Maybe Roshan, hang around, set some mines up. He's already getting some setup in the triangle.
Yeah, Techies seems like this hero could be pretty good with like the changes to how Tormentor works and the fact that it's just a really important objective, and controlling sections of the map is,
Dire's bottom
I mean, as long as old as Techies is, regardless of the changes, that's what he does.
Radiant's top tower is under Dire's bottom tower.
It's also particularly funny with a tiny.
Yeah, it's true. Or like potentially Magnus, you know?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Pudge carry seems to be
Attack.
maybe a thing with a new facet.
I'm curious to see what people are going to do build-wise. We've seen like Aghanim Scepter and stuff.
Dire's bottom
I theory crafted a lot of it last night and went like Vlad's Armlet, and at like level 12 had 470 damage, so it seems pretty good. Yeah, and that was like without any like flesh heap stacks. So I feel like there's certain builds that are going to shine on that hero, depending on the support as well, can make a big difference. Mac mid lane. Oh, the arrow not going to connect. He actually BKBs was worried that Rolling Thunder was coming for him. It had his name on it, but did he get the BKB for free? They're still looking like they want to actually fight here on Boom, though. That Pango is doing so much damage.
I can't wait to see the damage numbers after the fight. Win or lose, I just want to know where it's coming from. If you can get Doom onto the Pango, I think you're pretty set to win the fight, ignoring a huge combo from like ET.
Oh,
Dire's bottom tower.
Glimmers saving some heroes here, leaps away, but they're going to wrap around onto the bottom side. They're just going to intercept all the couriers. And then tank a bunch of mines on the high ground. Classic. But with that, they know exactly where they are. So they're just going to pressure the tier 3 here on the bottom lane, get a little bit of damage. The TP is coming through quickly from Liquid. Want to try and punish this. The question is, will they be able to? There's a Pango deep coming in from the bottom, and now they just get Mickey. Oh no, the jump in from this Lion just melts him. The Doom is out here onto the Underlord, but it's Nisha. He's the real carry, dude. What is the damage coming out from this hero? Jackie Boys goes back in with this Unleash, the tail end of it, taking down that Underlord. Do they have the ability to keep chasing for more here? Mac on the Tiny, pretty dang tanky. A very big win here for Boom, getting that Luna.
Power remains, so they will have to end up sieging the high ground again. I think finding Liquid outside of the base is exactly what they're hoping for in Boom, because as soon as you have to start pushing into the base, that's where it gets scarier and scarier, dealing with this Earth Splitter, the BKBs being forced out by Pit of Malice, or Atos, maybe into the Gleipnir. It does look like he's building into it. We'll see how wide his spells get.
Who is
Boom
it?
is not
Underlord?
in the clear yet. Yeah, he's mostly there. I forget how much the recipe is now. Oh, it's like 1,000. Okay, so
yeah, not that bad.
a bit more to go for that one. But Boom,
I agree. It's good item though.
yeah, Boom is certainly in the lead. They're not in the clear until they break the high ground and get, I'd say, 2 sets of barracks. And if they do so, they will force tiebreakers. So there have never been more Boom fans right now. Everyone would love to see more games on the new patch.
All right, I will say Gale Guard might be too good. I saw this item. It is exceptional. Any form of barrier is really good, and the fact that this gives you slow resistance as well is also very good. stack that up on heroes that can get slow resistance from things like Sanj and Yasha. And the fact that slow resistance generally was buffed in this patch is fantastic. So we're seeing Gale Guard often, the 2 Ninja Gears as well. They're going up on a high ground, but Smoke is popped. Great positioning there from Nisha on the Pangolier. Boom still has a substantial gold lead. Tibbs blinks into an arrow. Nisha's gonna go with the Rolling Thunder, try and finish off this Lion quickly. He's getting stuck though on the terrain. Avalanche Toss comes in from the Tiny. He's got an amplified damage rune as well. Mac gonna pop the BKB, but in comes Mickey. Gonna try and do the damage that he has, but they can't keep their hands on them. They pop those BKBs and they walk away.
All right, I was joking but serious when I talked about when Nisha will get stuck on something. And if he did not get stuck on whatever the terrain was over there, Lion dies without being able to get any spells off. I think that means Boxy lives, and Boxy has a lot of the utility items, so then his team might feel more powerful to keep pushing for more. So pretty unfortunate there. At least it's a 1-for-1 though, so it does delay the Roche, which at this point, that's all Liquid wants. They just want this game to keep going longer and longer, drag it out. This 12K lead is still a lot right now, but as we get to 40, 50, 60 minutes, that really won't be much. And I didn't even think about it until I said it right there. I would actually love for this to go late. Let's see some tier 5 neutral. Let's see some of this new stuff come in.
So the tier 4s are now available, right? Am I missing? Because like the tier 4s were moved up to 30
minutes.
No, I think they were moved up to 35 minutes. They moved the timers on tier 4 substantially. There's a 25-minute gap between tier 4s and tier 5. So we're gonna see the tier 4 enchantments coming out with their jungle items, and they can be pretty powerful. So I am curious to see what they're gonna do, if they just keep the same ones, or if they pick up something new.
Marcy decided to keep the Nemesis Curse, as we saw there. The Ninja Gear still being kept. Pretty good for Lion to make sure he can find jumps. Ooh, switch to Vampiric. That's really good.
Yeah, switch to Vampiric on it, so that's actually really nice. Ogre Seal here for Insania. The Magnifying Monocle. I was curious if we are going to ever see one of these cast range and attack range for all, here, like for regardless of being ranged or melee, which is kind of nice.
Nisha is choosing between Mindbreaker and Serrated Shiv right now.
He kept Serrated Shiv.
Okay.
I think Serrated Shiv is actually just better. But his wait, is this enchantment actually just still the same one?
Tough. Well, I think he has to upgrade that one next, doesn't he?
I don't know.
I think he already ended up to do both.
Well, that's whatever. I actually don't understand this damage. This is insane. Pago looks cracked.
This is wild. Looking at the death summary, that was all rolling thunder damage, one instance of shield crash, and then Boxy came in trying to snipe that. They contributed a very little amount.
10 armor from that tough enchantment is pretty big, actually, if you think about it, right?
Especially
it's
against
a little
Marcy.
bit of damage, but yeah, the 10 armor versus the Marcy might go a long way. The big thing is whether or not he gets like bursted through, because like if you pop BKB on Jackie Boys and you manage to like lock down the Pango for just a second, maybe you can kill him, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Quickening Charm and Quickened Ninja Gear. All right. The Brawny Gale Guard. The Brawny upgrade is wild, actually. That's so much HP in regen.
I want to see Saberlight. He's closing in on this Gleipnir. He's a couple hundred off. Whether he'll buy out for it, I don't know. I kind of think he should, especially because he's committed to this Magnifying Monocle. If he can use these spells from really far away, it gives so much good zone control to Liquid, and that is essential versus Boom, because we've been talking about how you need to get burst down, right? That requires a lot of heroes going in at once. Marcy can't go in on her own, right? You're all having to go in, doom the target, avalanche lockdown, lion finger, Techi's blast off. So everyone needs to come in, but not everyone has BKBs to do so. So if you can get these giant pits, Gleipnir certain heroes to make them BKB early, that could be the deciding factor in these fights. And he does
just
have
lost
it now.
like a third of its health. Cleared all the Techies' mines in the river. Yeah, we'll see how this Gleipnir will affect. They are trying to just plant more mines to try and burst Roshan, and he is now down to about a third of his HP. He's just going to start yeeting some heroes now. That is about 1,000 pure damage that was just dealt from this. You have to be very careful.
Liquid didn't see that happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Boom's going to be a little bit hesitant to maybe take the fight, but yeah, Nisha just going to roll in. Mac's going to be forced to BKB TP out as they are looking for more. They've caught the Lion. That's a huge pickup. Liquid can try and force the Roche here. They even managed to find FBZ on the backside. The Stomp is there. Earth Splitter just going to tickle. No, he gets the blink out. But
they can
this
do this
Roche
so
is
fast
low.
now.
Yeah. You have a butterfly done on
Roche and
Mickey.
get out. Do they have
Look
BKB
at
still?
the Pit of Malice, dude. You have no BKB on your Tiny. He can't play around this at all. Roshan, it's dead.
Unleash
Jack Boy's going to
committed.
pop the ult. Unleash, he has to BKB and find his kills, but Mickey trying to stand his ground over the damage reduction. It's working. He's on the run, trying to get the safety. Heals a little bit off some creep camps. Nisha is going to lose his life here to the Avalanche Toss as well as that Doom, but 3 heroes surrounding Mac here on the Tiny.
I think you just get out.
And they get out.
I think you need to get out.
Yeah, Pit of Malice down, the toss in, sends Mickey across. The damage in from Jackie Boys is adding up, plus the blast off, they get him. He's gonna come back in with this respawn, but you are severely outnumbered here on the side of Liquid. Mickey maybe thinking he can help his allies. 4 staffs down to the low ground. Mac blinks away. It's gonna end up being a huge turnaround from Boom. The buyback, absolutely worth it. They get 4 heroes plus the Aegis out of Mickey. And that's a dieback on Boxy.
That started off as such a good fight for Liquid. I guess they must feel the pressure of being behind, because I think they really tried to push the limits on that. But I think just getting Aegis is good, and they should have backed out when Nisha was down, because Nisha is actually doing a lot in these fights. And without him, I don't think you can push further, as we saw.
Yeah.
They get punished pretty heavily for that. There's the Fortify. They don't have the banner since they didn't get the Roche, but it should be enough to secure at least 1 barracks. You can't buy back on all these heroes. So yeah, you just lose 1 for over committing on the Roche that you have.
Yeah.
Or had.
Very good stuff there from Boom, capitalizing on it. The buyback from Techies was huge. You got a 3-hero blast off there as well after the buyback. That was absolutely essential. And now a 16,000 gold lead. They could look for the Tormentor again if they wanted. Push even further. We're going to hear BKB come out from the Tiny here as they try to surround him. He will TP on home. Serrated Shiv is very good as this game goes on because you have really high health heroes in the form of the Tiny as well as the Doom, right? So I understand why he's holding this item. Well, the Lotus Pool changes visually. I did not know that. So I remember in the patch notes, the Lotus Pool upgrades to start spawning great and then greater Lotuses depending on the time. So now they are spawning the great Lotuses and it changes visually. That's actually really cool. Props on that one, Valve.
I gotta say though, ooh, scary. He went through the Twin Gate, heard the mines, instant blink out. The rest of his team is not gonna follow suit. They do not have blinks. The Lotuses, it doesn't look like a pool anymore. And it was put forward in my chat. No, Lotus hydroponics now. They're being grown there. I think I like that. They look way more like a hydroponic system than a pool.
Hey, okay, I can get behind that. Nisha just chain stunning down FBZ here, waiting for his team to follow this one up, and yeah, there's no real help coming to. Well,
they don't know though. They're scared.
They're like, we committed a lot, and he's still alive. Okay, never mind. They're actually a little bit afraid.
That's the vision game coming into play. They've lost a lot of their wards, and the one they have is it's pretty deep, but it actually doesn't see any of the actual heroes. So they were just worried about everyone being there.
So one thing that happened when that Roshan was moving, and the reason I think that Roche ended up going to them, we saw the yeet onto Marcy, right? It's a lot of pure damage, but she actually got roared the second he picked her up. So she took 25% additional damage from that toss. And that's something you really have to be careful of. Like, trying to get anywhere near the Roshan while he's moving between his pits. Like, he's an angry boy. He does not want to deal with you.
Yeah, I like that idea. It opens up the potential to be contested, which is exactly what happened. And that's part of why Liquid won that fight. And then they overcommitted and they didn't have the help from Roshan, and that's why they ended up losing. They're hanging around, trying to bait it out, see if anyone from Liquid will step out too far. Quick avalanche toss into 4 mines.
All right, Mac just sitting right on the high ground. He has so much barriers, dude. The Gale Guard combined with a Glimmer that he gets thrown on him. Like, how do you even hit this Tiny?
Well, you can hit him.
Okay,
It
fair.
doesn't do anything.
It just does nothing. All right. Big level 25 talents, though.
Yeah, he's got his 25 while his team is just holding for him.
Oh, off the marks there with that arrow. Manisha looking for these heroes on the backside. He has that gem. It's going to scout out the techies. Actually scouts out a bunch of the mines as well. And we'll walk back into his base. All right, let's see if they can hold this alive. A nice arrow to follow it up. Can they actually threaten this Tiny? He's alive for now, but in comes Jackie, boys. Goodbye. This Mirana stands no chance of Doom to secure the kill on the Saberlight as well. And that is the Marcy threat.
Just Fiend Gate bottom, buyback Fiend Gate bottom, trade racks. I don't think you can defend this anymore.
What other options do you have, really, right? I mean, this Rax is gone. He's going to TP in aggressively here on Saberlight. Ends up canceling. Oh, no, he doesn't. All right. 4 staffs to get outside of the pit.
Boom, pretty content with that buyback.
Yeah,
Just gonna
absolutely.
Step back. Reset Roche in 1:30. And this is the third one, so there'll be some bonuses. Well, actually, not everyone got out of here.
That's a lot of mines. Careful, the toss back. They've got Nisha. Finger Death soaked by the Lincolns, but they still finish the kill. Insania now on the run, makes it up onto the high ground. Doom looking for his targets, but will not connect with the Shivas. Oh, he's got the mini Ravage.
That was a sick effect.
Yeah, I've been curious to see it. All right, got to be careful about
Do it
that
again,
one.
FBZ.
Toss to safety. Yeah, congregations of the deep.
The mines
like-
have actually done so much work. I feel like it actually set the pace of this game when they, at bottom, the first Tormentor, they ran into the mines, and now this critical pickoff, that might have
They never
secured them the
recovered from
game.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they never recovered
Well,
from that
they
first
almost
fight.
did.
Tormentor.
That Roche fight, the second Roche fight, almost did it.
The jump in, Mickey trying to dump the damage here into Mac. It's gonna be close. He finally goes down, jumps in on Nisha as well. FBZ with the BKB Teep being out. Genwal not gonna be as lucky. They're looking for more. They need more for these buybacks. Can they find him? It's gonna be Jackie Boys, the BKB on the run. He's just gonna TP on out. No way to cancel it. Nisha showing his frustration there.
Get
Almost
to-
secure Mega Creeps.
The melee barracks is left, so at least that one will be healthy. Amplify damage, and then it needs a short Roche spawn. If Liquid can at least get the third Roche, maybe you can hold on for longer. They actually have a really good lineup in terms of holding Mega Creeps. If you can clear out a tier 2 right now, get Roche, and then just wait. If you can team white Boom in your own base, and then the death times are so long, you can run it all the way down, and a hero like Luna can just completely open up the base as long as the tier 2s are down, which now they can at least get 2 sets of racks if something like that happens. They actually have to win another big fight for that. They need to scout this Roche, though. It is actually up. They can do it right now.
They have amplify damage. It's too late because it's about to move in 10 seconds. And previously, you would just like kill Roshan as he's moving, but now he will
Maybe
tell
can stop
you
it
no.
Maybe you can stop it with the pits. You all get thrown away and then you come back.
I mean,
All
we'll
right, let's see
see.
it.
He's going to try and start running. Does he care? He's just not grabbing anybody? Wait a
Well,
minute.
I think
Roshan, he's on a mission.
I think he had to leave the pit first, and he was still in the pit when he went through.
All right.
Okay,
Well.
trying to send the illusions to go push in the lanes. It's at half health. Boom is on the way, though. Oh, no, I thought they were smoked, but it's just a lion with the ninja gear.
Boxy gonna try and go scout this one out. Roshan's roar is there. The disarm plus the amp damage applied. FBZ, he's gonna go in. He's got a refresher. He gets the doom. He finds one. That's mute as well. That means no BKB and FBZ. He's just gonna try and take the Aegis. It hits the deck. He gets it. Nisha is gonna grab himself the cheese, but the damage is done. They've gotta run. Jackie Boys takes down to a dieback now on your Underlord, and Nisha will blink out. He's gonna TP to safety, but will they find the Luna? They get a glimmer of her. Has a BKB TP, will just pop the Eclipse, tries to turn around on her own. A Manta, it's not enough. She dies with no one falling on the side of Boom. Will have buyback, but at what
You're down
cost?
2. This is looking like it's it. Play it safe, wait for cooldowns if you want. Don't know if you have to.
I don't think you have to. They know it's a dieback
Yeah.
on the Underlord. I think you get the mega creeps here. Yeah,
I think you just use Unleash.
ET, I guess, but
It's up in 5 seconds. I think you just use Unleash. Never mind, Tiny's got it.
Or
No
just
Unleash
Tiny.
necessary.
or just Tiny with an arc, with a swift blink. AC takes your tower. Why not?
Liquid's gonna fight it out because they really don't want to have the 2 tiebreakers.
They're going to do their best there. A lot of damage coming in from Nisha as well as Mickey. The BKB is out, though, from the Luna, and they don't find their targets. Nisha almost deletes Tims once again, but up onto the high ground he goes. And, well, the follow-up, the stun, the finger of death, the hex, and now Jackie Boys gets his hands on his target. Dead without buyback. Mickey is going to join him likely here. Well, 4-staff Hurricane Pike up to the high ground. He's okay for now, but
Don't
with
go with
3
the
dead,
fountain.
I don't know if it's going to be much of a hold here from Liquid.
They passed the ultimate test of not walking into the fountain. I think that's gonna secure them the win here.
The mini Ravage holding him down the toss. Actually, yeah, it's gonna be enough. They get the kill there onto Mickey. That should be the end of the game. Saberlight coming back on the Underlord, gonna do what damage he can here, try and slow this one out, but there it is. The GGs come through and boom. Taking a game off Liquid here to finish off their group stage run.